Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Today, I have the privilege of interviewing Veronica Pelicaric and Nina Koevoets, the two authors of Engaging Nonviolence, Activating Nonviolent Change in Our Lives and in Our World. Their book has helped countless people study nonviolence, including myself, and I'm so happy to have them here. Veronica and Nina, thank you so much for being here today.
You're welcome, Rosie. Very welcome.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. So I know from being in Veronica's nonviolence class, she does it weekly, that there are so many success stories from people using the ideas in this book to help them transform the world around them. Would both of you or one of you be willing to share some of those stories with us now?
Yes, I'll share about two people that are really their lives have changed because of this offering, these programs that we're doing. And she's a psychotherapist in Texas, in a small town in Texas. And she says that this has completely changed her life, and that it's also changed the way she interacts with her patients, and how she can help the patients now differently than she did before. That is one. And the other one is this young man from South Korea. And he came to the class saying, well, I'm going to take this course, but I really don't know what nonviolence is all about, but I'll just take it out of curiosity. And as we were getting to the end of the course, it was so wonderful. One day, he's very shy. He doesn't talk unless, invite him to talk, but then he says amazing things. But then all of a sudden he jumped and he said, I love this nonviolent stuff. And it was so out of character, so like unexpected, because he had come in saying, I don't know anything about nonviolence, but it was wonderful. We all appreciated that so much. Yeah.
Thanks for sharing, Veronica. Nina, do you have any story you would like to share?
Yeah, do you mean stories of how people were changed, or stories that we have in the book?
Stories of how the book was very helpful for people.
Right.
People who've read the book, yeah.
Well, Veronica and I have been working on the book for 2 years, and so I've been using our material already before there was the book. And I did some interviews actually now with the lockdown, so with some participants of my training course. And I think the most impressive one was someone who lives in South Sudan, and actually managed to talk with a guy who was a gang member of a youth gang. And through what he learned in the training course about nonviolent communication and understanding people's needs, he managed to convince him to leave the gang. He was the leader. And then the whole youth gang actually stopped existing because they needed him to continue. Wow. Yeah, I think that's one of the more powerful stories. And then, of course, yeah, there were people who really remembered certain things. It's always different what people resonate with and what they find useful. But it's really nice to see how they use it for their personal relationships or their work with children and things like this. So yeah.
Yes, thank you, Nina and Veronica, for sharing.
I just want to say, just to make the two stories that I shared were people that took the course based on the book. I mean, we were, yeah, just to clarify.
Yes, and I highly recommend anyone who's watching this interview, please join a Bene class. Veronica and Rivera's son have one going on right now, and I'm in it, and it's very wonderful and enriching. So I'll provide a link for it below in case you want to join. So Veronica and Nina, like many youth today, I am very concerned with the issue of climate change. One great concept that you talk about in your book is the 3 nonviolent action methods by Gene Sharp on page 163. And can y'all tell me something about how we might use these today in relation to climate change?
Um, okay, so the three nonviolent action methods you're talking about are protest and persuasion, non-cooperation and intervention. And of course, the first group that comes to mind that is doing something in all three is Extinction Rebellion. They did a lot of protest and persuasion. They did a lot of intervention. They did a lot of non-cooperation. But what I would like to see, I would like to see more people not cooperating, not using cars so much, going more on a bike, you know, doing a lot of the things that we know that are increasing the fossil fuels. Now with the COVID, like there's less flying and that has helped the environment tremendously and we all see the effects of that. But I think we as human beings have to realize the urgency and all of us contribute to healing the planet.
Yes, I think also there is maybe often a lot of kind of focus on the personal actions that we can take. And there is a concept in the book that we say power with. So I really like that. And I encourage people to kind of see power also in a different way, as they can have power together in a group. So these methods of nonviolent action of Gene Sharp, they can give us many, many ideas. He has actually made a list in the 1970s with 198 methods, and many have been added. So I would say, yeah, whatever feels right to you, to engage with that. And there are many also very creative actions. So we also write something about prefigurative action, for example. And I really like this part where you can kind of envision the future and try to do that in the present.
Thank you both. And I was wondering if you could both maybe reflect on my next question. What does nonviolence mean to you?
Well, for me, nonviolence is something that Michael Nagler also says in his new book, The Third Harmony. It's what the new story, a term coined by Thomas Berry, which means a culture based on the growth of consciousness and not on consumerism and not on destroying the planet and all of that, but a new consciousness. So for me, nonviolence is this new story, is this consciousness, is this expansion of understanding that there's no separation, that we are all in this together. And I think nonviolence is the perfect tool for the new story. And it works on all levels, on the personal, interpersonal, the social, global. It's a universal ethic that you can apply to almost anything.
Yes, I would give probably very similar answer. Like, I think it's a kind of a shift in consciousness. And yeah, something very creative, as I already mentioned. And yes, the new story. So these are all the things that kind of in our society that we can really transform to make them more empathic, more humane, yeah, all of that, to have more equity in the society. So I would say nonviolence is really to make a shift on all these different levels.
Yes. Thank you both so much for sharing and for taking the time. Viewers, I encourage you to get their book, Engaging Nonviolence. I love it, and it is so good. You can find it on the Bene website, and I will provide a link for it. Thank you both so much for being here today and taking the time.
Thank you, Rosie. Thank you so much for being you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.